Yeah, you guys can hear me? Melanie, give me a thumbs up. Yep, you're front and center on my screen, babe. I kind of love that. Kind of love that. Awesome. So I am gonna be manning I always feel like the Great Oz on this call because there's so many things happening. But I'm gonna be letting people in, and I know this is a short call. And we have so many good things to talk about. So you guys, the way that this came to be, I know I'm really excited too, Kayla. The way that this came to be is obviously this is a superstar call. So we were joking on our team because we love Miss Emily Lemoine so much. And we're like, only Emily Lemoine, brand new coach, would be talking on the superstar call that's supposed to be superstars. She is on her way to superstar, no doubt in my mind. I don't ever want to hurt anyone's feelings on my team, but I'm really super close with all of my top coaches. And so I feel like I can say this. She is the first coach on our badass baller team of Together Rising that when she walked into this team, I said immediately top 10 coach, 100%. She's going to be top 10, 100% guaranteed. That doesn't mean there aren't a million other coaches. Aaron Hopkins in the top 10. We have like four, we have a bunch of people that are right there, but out of the gate, like in their first month, she's the only one that I've seen that from. So I'm really, really excited for you guys to hear from Emily tonight. You guys, she has 4 children under the age of 5. So yes, there are twins in there. 4 children under the age of 5. She started coaching 9 months ago. She is a 6-star, lifetime 6-star. She's on her way to, I love talking to Emily. Her goal this year is 10-star. No doubt that will happen, but it could very well be beyond that. So absolutely one of the fastest building coaches in the history of the company. And we get to hear from her tonight. So you guys, it's so much more important, I think, to hear from coaches like Emily than it is to hear from coaches like me and other people that are kind of, been in the business for a long, long time. Because I was telling my team this last night, I said, you can't, and I made this mistake for a long time. I would always look, because success leaves clues. That's a really good thing to follow top coaches, but you can't do necessarily what, as a brand new coach, what a top 10 coach can do, right? It's just a different thing. It's a different audience level and all of that. But everyone can do what Emily's doing. And Emily is doing exactly what I did when I got here 6 years ago. And she's just following right along my footsteps. Her coach is actually Aaron Hopkins, my top coach. So I get to be her grandma coach. And Aaron calls her Mini Moira, which I think is a blessing and a curse. So Emily, will you unmute? And what I want to start out with is I want to hush up. And I just want to ask you to kind of tell a little bit of your story, like how you came into Beachbody, what brought you into coaching, what brought you here now being a full-time coach. Take it away.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, so I have somewhat of a background in health and fitness. Just kind of grew up in the gym. My mom was like into fitness my whole life. So I always had like a passion for it and wanted to do something with it. But I got a marketing major, was in sales jobs my whole life. So I never did much besides teaching little boot camps here and there at a local park. And I remember I was in a fairly new job, like 2 years into this job. And I was regional sales manager. And I was, making a lot of money and doing well and successful in my business. And I had 4 little kids and I was missing everything. And I come home every day and Trey, my husband's like, all right, what's going on? Like, you're just shut off. I'm like, I feel like I'm literally just going through the motions. Like, it's a new day and we go to work and we come home and we bathe the kids and we eat dinner and we go to bed and then it starts all over. So I kept trying to find like little things to do. So I'm like, should I write a blog or should I do more boot camps or should I, just trying to figure out something to kind of do for myself. And I saw Aaron's ad and I had kind of been like following a couple of the Beachbody coaches and just always curious about it. People had asked me to do it multiple times and I was like, no, I thought I was above it. I was like, I'm not doing Beachbody. I teach my own workouts. I don't need it. But Aaron's ad was just like so relatable. She's a twin mama. She wasn't talking about the workouts. She wasn't talking about nutrition. She was talking about the community. And I think that's what drew me in, because that's what I was missing. I was missing a group of women who like empowered me and pushed me to do something besides just being a mom, and just doing my sales job. So anyway, I stayed up talking to Aaron all night long. I signed up at like midnight that night, and I kind of hit the ball rolling like right away. And I basically knew like, if I'm going to coach, I'm going to go all in. I'm just going to like go full force. And I think within a couple, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I hit diamond, and then it was like just kept going from there because I just kept growing. But I knew from the start what I wanted to do was bring people in built on relationships, and just communicating with people in that way, like Erin did to me through her ad. So
I want to stop you right there. You just said you went diamond in a week or two.
I don't know.
Can you, which you absolutely did. Can you talk about, because I feel like everyone's probably like, oh, how did you do that?
So I was really excited to have something new. And I think that's like the first step is you just have to be really like, this is the craziest job. How fun that this is an actual job and you can make an income from it. Like that's crazy to me. But I just got really excited and started telling everybody I know. So, I mean, I got friends and family signed up, which friends are usually the hardest people because they don't want to admit they need help. But I got friends and family signed up. I started telling babysitters of my kids and teachers and other moms in my kids' school and daycare, just telling everybody what I was doing and just making them excited about it because I was so excited. So basically just trying to get people to join in and letting them know like, this is this new thing that I'm doing. It's super cool. It's great for like us busy moms who really need this. And it's starting to give me life in such a short period of time. So I really want you to join me. So I think just letting people know, like, I want to be at that. I want them to be a part of this and be in this with me. So
I want to point something out there. First of all, you had a very full-time job and 4 children under the age of 5 while you were doing this at the time. So I think one of the big things is I see, and now that you're mentoring coaches, you absolutely can see this. So many people get stuck in the fear, right? The fear of talking to other people, the fear of people will think of them. And I know how you got through that fear. You did this thing. You really did this thing. And you were so excited about your just excitement for this, right? Like how you were feeling in the community and all of that, that's, I believe, what got you through your fear, right? But what would you say to that for the people on this call that are kind of stuck in that, like, I'm having a really hard time just going out there and talking to everybody I know?
I think just being genuine and being excited about what exactly it is. I mean, if everybody's working on their own journey and they're seeing the benefits of it, then you shouldn't have an issue talking about it. Because everybody, if you're doing the workouts, doing the nutrition, drinking your shakes, if you're doing the program fully, then you're getting results and you're feeling good. So why not tell other people how you're feeling and bring them in to feel that way as well? So I think it's important that we always mention this, but if you're a product of the product, it's going to show. People are going to ask what you're doing. You're going to be excited to tell people what you're doing. I think that that's the most important thing, your personal journey and your, what's going on in your own life. So
I love that. And I couldn't agree more. I totally agree. It's no surprise, guys, like when we have those of us that have mentored coaches over the years, it's like the people that are getting results, the people that are just fired up, independent of building a business, completely independent of that. The people that are fired up about this thing that we get to do just naturally they build a business. It's not a difficult thing. So Amy's on this call, actually, Amy Silverman. And one of the best things I ever heard as a brand new coach, it was at a pre-summit workshop. Somebody said, somebody in the crowd asked her on the Q&A stage, they said, what do you tell a coach that's struggling in their business? I was like sitting on the edge of my seat, like, give me the magic answer. And Amy said, what I tell them is you need to go focus on your personal journey, that their problem is probably not in their business, that it's in their personal journey. and the solution in your business comes when you focus on your personal journey. How cool is that, right? And I know that's what you've done this whole time. So let's dig into this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dig into, I'm asking questions that some I know the answers to, but some I don't. Did you run your own challenge group right out of the gate? Like that first month, you probably brought in 10, 15 people. Did you have your own challenge group? Were you in Erin's challenge group? How did it work?
I did. So I stayed a part of Erin's challenge group just to kind of get a feel for what she was doing. But I, right off the bat, got my own. Mainly because I think that people need to hear from you and hear from me and see me working on myself, see me, doing the workouts every day, showing up every day. And I know for me, like I get so much joy pouring into my people and they benefit so much more when I'm pouring into them. So for me, it was like they needed this one-on-one from me, one-on-one coaching from me. And if they were getting that from somebody else, would they experience, the same experience that I was feeling? So yeah, I started my own challenge group right off the bat, both in Facebook and in BOD, and people were getting results really quickly. So I think that's super important.
So you just spoke at my retreat. Of all the coaches that I could ask, I had you come speak at my retreat. Talk about, so you're 6-star, right? You're a 6-star diamond coach. You have 6 diamonds, less than 9 months into the business. Where did those diamonds come from? Were they business builders? Were they through Coach Sneak Peeks? Where were they from? And well, answer that first.
So none came from Sneak Peeks. Most of them came from a challenge group, simply just people who were getting results and liking the workouts and liking the community and participating. And I just reached out to them and I'm like, you're already doing everything. You love it. You might as well bring people in to join you. And I didn't think that they would respond so well, but those were my quickest diamonds, because it was easy for them to talk about something that they already loved. I had a few that I reached out to personally, and I heard this on one call and it just kind of resonated with me. But I basically looked for people who I wanted to be a part of my team. Mm-hmm. So I looked for people who had similarities to me, who I thought would be successful, who I thought would relate to me. And I just reached out to them and I said, look, I have this team of women. I want you to be a part of it. I think you'd be good, XYZ. And do you want to join me? Like, if not, no biggie, but I just want to tell you that I think you'd be awesome on my team. So I think just letting these people know the reasons why you want them there and why you think they'd be good, and just pouring, that belief into them and letting them know that you want them to be a part of it. So, and also looking at your challenge group and really focusing in on the people who are showing up, basically.
Emily, you've like simplified this business so much in literally the last 13 minutes, right? Like, I mean, it is that simple, you guys. I remember my first full year in the business, I ended 7-star, and that wasn't second CBC or spouse. It was 7 diamonds, and all but one of them had come straight out of my challenge group, and I had to talk to every challenger over and over and over and over and build that belief. But just like you're saying, but you guys, when people are on fire about this and excited, then they're not all of a sudden, there's no icky inviting, there's no weird anything. It's just real, like it's real. So you've got to focus on getting, like, pouring into your challenge group. So that was the thing I was holding back a minute ago. Will you talk about for a minute, how you approach your challenge groups and why and how these women are getting like such incredible results so fast? Because I think that the quick is so key. It's so key to, it's kind of like the domino effect of like results, falling in love with this, excitement, inviting a friend or two, becoming a coach, becoming a diamond, and all of a sudden they're off and running. But if that quick domino doesn't fall, it's really hard to get it going.
Yeah, so I kind of talked about this at your retreat and at Erin's as well, but something that I've done, and it's helped quite a bit with my girls getting results quickly. like really quickly and really going all in with the program is I sign them up. As soon as I sign them up, I either get them on the phone, I start like a text thread with them. I ask to meet up, whether it's at my house or at a local coffee shop, or sometimes it's by themselves, sometimes it's in groups, but I get with them and go through everything. So I'm like, let's go through the nutrition programs. Let's see which one works for you. Maybe we'll come up with a couple meals that work for them. Like if they're a busy mom, have picky kids, then let's figure out some meals that work for you. And then I walk them through the workouts and how to do Facebook and how to do the bod group. And the workouts we figure out, like, do you have any restrictions? Do you have any issues that may keep you from doing one workout or the other? And then we basically set out a plan for them. And I always find out their start date. So once I have their start date, I use my Rise Up planner right there, write their start date in there, whether it's when their box is going to come in with all their stuff or the day they sign up. And I just check in with them every single day and I check it off in my Rise Up planner. And it could be something simple, like, how are you doing? Did you get started? Or day one, how's day one? How are you feeling? It doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out, but just seeing how they feel, if they started, and what they need from you, basically. And then you can go on each day for five to 7 days. And then from there, they're 5-7 days in. So they're feeling the results from Shakeology. They're definitely feeling the results from the workouts. They're probably sleeping better. They probably have more energy. They're probably happier. So that's when I hit them with, like, not hit them with, but I start talking to them about, not like you have to start coaching, but I start talking to them about the coaching opportunity. Like, I'll even hint it, something silly, like, you're doing amazing. You're so consistent already. Like, one day I'm going to get you to coach with me. It's planted that seed in their ear. And now they're thinking about it. And as time goes on, I keep checking in with them weekly. And when they send me a recipe or a meal or a picture of their food or a selfie, I have them posted in the group. So I'm like, go post this in the group. Now they're seeing that coaching side of it. They're seeing that motivational side of it. And they're seeing, like, the community and how fun it is to motivate others. So now you've planted that seed in their head about coaching, and they're starting to experience it by doing some of the work for you. So, and they're consistent with their workouts. So
we could talk about that forever. Like, and I don't want to just keep repeating everything that she's saying because it's all so amazing. But guys, like, think about when we all came in. I was completely broken, completely insecure. Like, I desperately needed help. Never in my wildest dreams could I think that I would actually inspire somebody else, you know? And so when you reach out to your challengers and you say, just like Amy said in the chat, like, God, girl, you're inspiring me, or you should share that recipe in the challenge group. I'll never forget one of my girlfriends from college wanting to chat with me on the phone. She was in my challenge group and I'm like, what's up? And she was like so incredibly amazed because she felt so valued because she took a picture of her lunch and like 12 people wanted the recipe. And all of a sudden she felt needed by someone other than her children. And it felt so good. It gave her that, like, wow. Just by posting a recipe, I'm adding value. I'm helping somebody else on their journey. And never did any of us think that we could do that. So encourage them to keep sharing, encourage them, and just planting that seed again and again and again. You guys, my coach planted that seed for 14 and then 3 more months, 14 months as a challenger and then 3 months as a coach. And that's how long it took for me to just barely start to believe that maybe I could do what she was doing. Guys, drop questions in the chat. I just saw one. I haven't even read it yet, but I'm going to read it out loud. I'm just getting started this week, but I'm plus size, so didn't want to approach anyone about coaching until I started to lose. Any advice? Rhonda, this is like my most, I'm going to just jump in really fast, even though this is Emily's call, and tell you, Erin Hopkins, I think you're on. I remember my top coach, Erin Hopkins, ranked number 7 in the company right now. She came to me with her perfect plan. She fell in love with this thing, was getting crazy results. And she's like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 rounds and I'm going to get this perfect before and after transformation. And then I'm going to blog about it. I was like, nobody wants that. Like, nobody wants that, Erin. Like, nobody wants perfection. Nobody wants fitness Barbie. Like, they want you on your journey right alongside them. And so, Emily, I want you to answer that question too. But I also always think of this. We have this big bridge in Charleston, close to the College of Charleston. And when we drive over it all the time, there's like a million college girls jogging on the bridge. And I don't think anything of it. And then always my husband looks at me and he's like, are you crying again? And I'm like, I can't help it, because when I see someone plus size, when I see someone struggling up that bridge, when I see someone fighting their way into a jog, it is the most inspiring thing. Those fit little college things, they don't inspire me at all, right? So people want the real, authentic you on your journey. That's the most inspirational thing. But Emily, do you want to answer that? And then I'm going to take more questions. Drop them in the chat.
So what was the question? She's just getting started.
Well, actually, I pretty much answered that one. So there's like 85 more questions. So we're going to jump into the next one. This is a great one for you. How do you reach out to your child's teachers?
I just reached out to them on Facebook and basically just told them, like, look, I know you're like crazy busy and you're dealing with kids all day. This community, I talked more about the community with my kids' teachers, honestly. I know they don't have a lot of time for themselves and they're with kids all day. And I don't know if they're like me, but need that community of women. And just basically sold the community, cheering you on and doing the workouts with you. So I think just not being afraid to just say, like, I really think you'd enjoy this because I know that you need it just like me. Any woman needs it just like we did. And not inviting them right away. So I don't invite like right away. I make a connection. I start identifying their issue and I help getting them results. I help get them results before they even get invited. So I think just basically figuring out why they need this. They're in a classroom all day long with a bunch of little kids. They don't have a lot of adult interaction. They're busy. This is the perfect workout program for them because shakes are easy, workouts are 30 minutes, and you have a community of women cheering you on. So
love that. I love that. And it's just real conversation, right? And on that note, here's a question. After you invite, I'm guessing this means your challengers to coach, or see if they're interested, do you send them, she said, a third-party info tool, which is like, do you send them like a link to something, or do you just chat back and forth?
I just chat back and forth. I think that people get overwhelmed with links and stuff right away. I think just letting them know why you like it and just being completely real and being like, that's always my thing is I want to talk to them and figure out why this would be good for them and why they may need this. And so you have to develop that connection, that relationship, and figure out why that this would work for them. So I think having a conversation, and then whenever you think that this is, they're ready, then getting them signed up, let them get started. Or if they're a challenger, signing up, like starting to coach, then getting them maybe in a pod to start giving them just a little bit of information here and there before you throw them into like trainings and this and that. So
yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I think that's so spot on. It's just like, guys, the more real the conversation is, the better. And I think what you keep kind of talking about, and I just want to make sure you guys are hearing this, is like really digging into their story, like what's going on in their life, what are their struggles, where are their pain points. And when you ask people a million questions, like my coach always say to me, what do I tell people when they say they're interested? I'm like, then I ask them like 25 questions, not really 25, but I ask them like 5 questions, like, awesome. Oh gosh, so talk to me, like, tell me what you're doing with your nutrition. Like, God knows, like sugar addiction, food issues, like that's always been my problem. Like I'm vulnerable, right? But then I'm asking them, like, are you working out now? Like, have you, like, how's COVID treated you? So many people have struggled with weight gain through COVID. What's going on in their family life? Like really understanding. That's when people realize that this isn't you're not trying to just get them to buy something so you can make a commission. Like, you actually want to know about them so you can help pinpoint their problem so you can then deliver a solution to them that's specific to them. Michelle asked, Emily, if you have 35 people in a challenge group, how do you keep up with the one-on-ones and find time for the one-on-ones?
So I schedule it in my day. Like, I usually say either, I mean, depending on my week, because sometimes things get crazy with dance and baseball and everything in life, but I schedule out my week by the hour, every single thing, at least 8 to 3 is every hour scheduled out. And I designate times for check-ins. And if they don't answer me back right away, or because sometimes they don't answer me till nighttime. So they know that I'm busy. They understand that we're all busy. So people don't expect you to answer them back right away. So I just answer them back when I have a minute to answer them back, or when I have an hour to just say, okay, I got all these messages today from my challenge group after I checked in with them. So I'm going to sit down for this 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm going to reply to their messages so I can sit down and actually pay attention to what they wrote me and help them. But I think scheduling is key. And I struggled with this in the beginning. And I remember I had my first one-on-one with Moira, and I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I don't have a schedule. I don't have a plan. She's like, you need to watch my video and you need to start scheduling, and I mean, honestly, I needed that. And I think writing your day hour by hour and knowing what you're going to have to do is key. But going back to that question, I think saying, okay, Mondays are always good days to check in. So I'd say Mondays, and if you're doing the 5 days or the 7 days at first, I think first thing in the morning. But if you're then doing weekly check-ins, I say Monday morning, designate like 30 minutes, and it can be the same message to every person. It doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be this long drawn out message. It can be, hey, how are you? How can I help? Did you get started on your workouts? How's your nutrition? Like, it can be something so simple. So
yeah, simple, guys, simple. I send so many messages like, check it in, want an update, how you doing? Like that's simple. Great question here. I thought about this earlier when you said this. How do you help them get results before you've invited them to a challenge group? You mentioned that earlier.
When I say I help them get results, so basically figuring out what their issue is and what they need to get from this. And then basically telling them how I can help them, how I can solve that problem. So not necessarily getting them actual results, but showing them how I can get them results before they get started.
Yeah.
So if someone we were messaging back and forth and they tell me that, they say, I don't eat breakfast and I don't really like vegetables and I'm not super healthy, then I know Shakeology is exactly what they need for an easy, quick breakfast every day, because it has the superfoods that they're probably lacking in their nutrition. It's easy and convenient for breakfast. Does that make sense? So I think trying to figure out what they need and and then saying, okay, well, we have this amazing superfood shake that doesn't taste like you're getting, all these superfoods, and it's convenient and it's easy. And I think that would be a good solution for you not wanting to eat breakfast or not liking greens. So I think just trying to figure out what they're lacking and what they need to get out of this.
Yeah, I love that. And so, guys, think about it this way. Like, I always think about, I've always really struggled with food. And when I came in, if my coach had talked to me for 20 minutes about, the 21-day fix workouts and how they were total body, and there was a cardio day, and there's full body workouts, and there's an upper body day. And then if she it would have been like Charlie Brown's teacher. I would have been like, I don't care. I don't care about, this means nothing. This means nothing, because I struggle with food, not my workouts. Right. So you got to understand, when you're talking to people, you got to make sure you're talking to the right problem that you can solve. So spot on.
And do they need nutrition, or do they need workouts? I mean,
Yeah.
or are they looking for a total solution?
Absolutely. Do you use any software to keep track of people, or do you to send messages or email campaigns?
No, I probably need to.
No, you don't.
No,
No,
I
you
don't.
don't.
I made a binder. I have a binder with tabs. I'm old school. I don't even have a computer, to be honest with you. I'm on my iPad right now and I use my phone. Aaron keeps saying I need to get a new phone. I need to get an iPad, but I have a binder, just an old school binder with tabs. And I use my Rise Up planner, and that's where I write every single person who signs up for the month. And it's easy because there's 5 spots to check in with them. And then from there, I move them into my binder. And I basically just, when I'm going to do check-ins, I just go down my list. It's a very simple and very old school. I think that's
and very effective. Extremely effective. How many calls are you on a week with, I'm guessing, your challengers, or do you send voice memos or just chat?
So kind of a mix. I don't do calls with them. I do calls with my coaches. So I do one-on-ones with them, and I'm on the phone with them all the time. Like, they'll just randomly call me because they know I'm super available. And if I can't answer, I don't answer, and they get it. Like, I'm busy. But I talk to my coaches. I talk to my challengers via text message, messenger, or I do voice memos all the time. I love voice memos because then they can hear that you're being genuine and you truly want to help. And it's easy. You can be, I always say to my coaches, because they're like, when do I have time to check on people? I'll be like cooking dinner and I'm just sending voice messages, and I'll go and I'll make a little check by the name, and I'll be in the bathtub. I just do it when I can. So voice memos are really, really convenient and easy.
Yeah. And when you're talking about checking in daily with your challengers that you onboard that first week, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I want some clarity around this. So you're checking in with them daily for the first week, is that right? And then after that first week, what does it look like?
Every week, just once a week.
Once a week, yeah.
Yeah. And it's getting, I'll be completely honest, it's getting harder. And so sometimes it ends up being every other week, just depending on if it's someone who I know is showing up every day in the challenge group anyway. I know they're doing their workouts. I know they're doing okay. I might check on them every other week, but it's the people who are still not showing up regularly that I know are struggling. And honestly, after I check in with people that first week, people tend to check in with me. Like, a lot of the people in my challenge group, I find they check in with me sometimes before I check in with them, and either ask me questions or send me pictures of their food, or just tell me how they're doing well, or ask me advice. So yeah, I find they tend to start checking in with me.
That says a whole heck of a lot about you and your community. A lot. So we're over time and we have 36 other messages. So can you stay for just maybe another 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm not going to answer all of them or ask all of them, but the ones that are jumping out to me, I'll pass along. Are your Diamonds full-time coaches? Curious how you mentor them to Diamond and beyond if they work the business part-time.
So no, only one is basically a full-time coach, but she's also a mom of, she has, between her and her husband's children, they have 5. So she's really busy too. But yeah, only one is a full-time coach, and the other ones, and they're really busy, to be honest. Like, one of them is a nurse and for the school board, so she's crazy busy, and she hit Diamond in 3 weeks. But that was a challenge group. That was one of my challengers who loved the program, and as soon as I asked her to be a part of the coaching side of things, she was like, I love it, and I really want to help my sister, and I really want to help so and so, and I really want to help so and so. So she already knew in her head people that she knew would enjoy it and need it. So it was easy for her to get started. And then how do I build them to Diamond and beyond was the other part of the question. I kind of make it a non-negotiable, and not in a not in a bad way, but I just like it's not that hard if you just start like thinking of people who you can potentially help and just talking to people. I think just everybody gets in their head like, who am I going to invite? And they start writing lists and stuff. But if you just start talking to people and telling everybody what you're doing, and I think that that's basically how you do it. But yeah, I mean, I don't talk about Emerald so much. Like if they when they hit it, I get excited about it, but we always talk about like, okay, what's your first goal? Like this is Diamond. I think you can do it, and we talk about it pretty regularly when they get started. So
Oh, so powerful. I mean, that it's just the belief of, and it's story behind it, right? I remember always telling the story of like being so naive and blinders on when I came in, and I was just like, okay, so you just go diamond. Like I didn't think anyone ever, like I thought everybody went diamond in their first 30 days. I just thought that's what you did. Therefore, that's what I did, you know, and when you can pass that story, that belief onto other people, as a leader, like that's what we need to do. I mean, diamond isn't hard, guys. It's 12 people, you know. Superstar, I used to think superstar, I was like, that must mean she had like 100 diamonds. And then I found out superstar was 15, and I was like, why would that be that hard? Because it wasn't that hard to get diamond. I worked for it for sure, but it wasn't that hard. I, like Emily, thought this was the most insanely magical thing I've ever been a part of. So I was like, why would it be that hard for me to find 15 people? It is harder than I thought initially, but my belief was that it shouldn't be that hard, you know? So it's that belief, guys. I always tell my team, you get what you believe, you don't get what you want. So you might want to be an elite coach, but unless you believe that you are an elite coach today, you're not going to get there. Okay. How long until your customers turned into coaches after their first program?
customers to coaches.
Yeah, like when they're kind of converting to like bringing in their own people.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, well, I sign everybody up as a discount coach. So they're already signed up that way. So it's no extra cost or anything. And then before I converted them, I'd say within about a month, about a month. Yeah.
And
I mean, that's when they're getting the most results because, okay, if you think about it, when you sign somebody up, they're going to start feeling the changes pretty quickly, and they're going to get the best results after a program. So I'd say 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's when they're going to feel their best. And that's when I think they would, that's probably the best time. And that's usually when mine start after they finish a program and they're like feeling really good and they got results and they want to tell everybody and they want to take pictures and, but it's when if you wait too long sometimes, which it's okay, still ask them because you never know. But people do this on their journey. But if they start coaching, they're going to do this. So, I mean, it's also going to get them better results too. So,
I mean, what she just said, guys, everybody needs to go live tonight in their challenge group and do that visual. Everybody's going to do this, but coaches do this. Don't you want to be a coach?
Yeah, you can when people under you.
Yeah, that's what made me decide to coach, because I didn't want to. I was so sick of this. That's the only reason I said yes to coaching. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up like the National Wake Up Call. So we're prepping you for the National Wake Up Call.
Oh gosh.
How has Beachbody changed your life?
Well, for one, I'm now a stay-at-home mom. Which I say stay-at-home mom, but 2 of my kids are in daycare because I still have to work. But I was able to quit my full-time job, which has been like the biggest blessing because I'm home with my kids for the summer and we're traveling this summer. And it's just, y'all, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do always, but I just never thought that it would be possible. So I'll probably get emotional, but I just, I never thought that I would be here, but I always kind of dreamed of it. So
it's amazing. It's amazing how quickly life has changed in less than a year for you, and I can't even fathom how it's going to change a year from now. Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much. You are
Thank
so quick to say yes to every single request of your time. And I know you don't have a lot of it. She actually was like, when I asked her to do this, she was like, oh, perfect. My kids aren't home. They're like out at a camp or something. I was like, the one night you get to spend with your husband and you're like, sure, I'll pop on a call for you. I'm like, you're crazy, but thank you.
I told my neighbor, I said, can you take the baby? The other ones I pick them up in 20 minutes. So, but all good.
Oh my gosh. Well, you are a blessing to all of us on this call and this
Thank
network,
y'all so much.
especially our team. We love you so much. Watch out for this one, you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody, for hopping on. And we will be sure to get the recording in your hands so that you can pass it along to all of your coaches. Thanks, guys, for hopping on. Bye.
Bye.